And also, he's on bird patrol. That's Bud, man. He's into multitasking. He can lick himself and watch for birds at the same time. Yep, ain't that right, Bud? Yep, you heard him. Okay, this is one. Back in the old days, they called it Salt River. Salt River, not Salt Creek, but Salt River. I guess rivers become creeks. Wow, this is one more powerful set of mics. I've got stereo microphones now with this camera. I mean, this camera is it's called the Zoom Q2N 4K. Wow. It's not going to sound as good when the music comes up. I still have a something of a learning curve to go through to find out. See, well, thank you. I play this thing and record it on a looper pedal. If you don't know what that is, it's like a guitar pedal, which when you press it, it starts to record, and when you press it again, it stops, and then it automatically starts going in a circle. So when you playing rhythm, when you get to the end of the song, you click the pedal and the pedal starts over again. It hits the beat that you were going to hit, and you can hit it if you want to. But I normally stop and let the looper pedal do all the striking, because if you strike the instrument at the same time as you depress the looper pedal, some bad things can happen. We just won't go there. Right now we got a three quarter inch bridge on this puppy. That's 3/4 of an inch from the white to the very top. 3/4 of an inch. And then in terms of banjo players, anybody you've asked any banjo player, they're gonna say he's going for the big boy sound. Let's see. Instead of going looper pedal to the looper pedal right this moment, I'm going to take you back in time. I'm going back with you. You're going to need a guide. But my earliest days playing banjo, I wanted to be a Earl Scruggs type banjo player. I had heard Foggy Mountain Breakdown, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew it then. It was like I knew in 1965 I wanted to play electric guitar. But, a few years and I changed my mind. And once I had refurbished a wall hanger repurposed it as an instrument to, to learn on, I had to put this, a set of strings, and one of these on that banjo in order to learn how to tune it. And I used a book, it was copyrighted in 1945, to tune it. And I tuned the banjo when you strummed it. That was A chord. In other words, a guitar player would have to put a capo on and play G. The way it's tuned now is in G. That's G chord. But 100 years ago, it would have been A. So when you listen to a lot of the old time music, as I have listened to down through my time, you can you can hear that A sound in there. But I wanted to play three finger, and then my dad saw that I had this old man who played clawhammer banjo put his arm around my neck and let me make chords, and I saw his lick. 2 weeks later, on a stage at a festival, a competition, we'll call it a fiddler's convention, that's what it was, in my hometown, I got second place. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You talking about Cain being raised. Those old codgers, they just knew they had it in the bag, and here's a little kid, and you I don't, unless you're 110 years old, and I guess if you was 170 years old, still getting your Social Security, and could make out Donald Trump out to be a liar, you'd been something special on the stage that night. But oh man, oh Lord mercy. Dad seen I could play clawhammer, so he asked me if I'd like to have if I wanted a banjo, and he told me the deal he'd make me. Well, that was he'd borrow the money. There goes the bird hunter. I don't know whether you've seen him go out at the frame or not, but he's in hot pursuit. Anyway, Dad and I went on a hunt for banjos, and I looked at numerous banjos, but I only saw one where was a real curiosity to me. It was a 1926 RB11 Gibson, the Gibson banjo. This is a 1966. This is built 40 years after the one I had as a child. This instrument was given to me. Why, I do not understand to this day, except for the fact that I have never been known to keep a banjo any longer than about 3 or 4 years, and I'd sell it and quit. But Dad saw I had it in me to play clawhammer, and he was a musician, and he had a band, and he had a dream. And you know, when you have 3 members of your family in a band, and he pulled my sister into it after I taught her how to play the bass. He pulled her into it. So here's 3 members of a 5-piece band out of one family. So, you know, hope somebody don't get the flu in their house if you got a paying gig. One thing about that is I did get paid the most I was ever paid for a period of time. 1971, and it was around this time of year, 1971. There, back when we were a industrial economy, you had towel manufacturers in this country, and your best bedroom and bath towel that there ever was made in the United States came from Fieldcrest Mills in Fieldale, Virginia. That was founded by Marshall Field out of Chicago. Fieldale, Virginia was named after Mr. Field. But they had a big meeting. All the big wigs came down, and they had a big dinner. And Daddy and us provided the entertainment. And I really believe the only reason they had us in there is we'd had vests made out of Fieldcrest towels. Beautiful vest. The pattern was immaculate. If you want to see a picture of it, You can go look at Time Life because the same vest appears in our appearance in the Time Life video, Bluegrass Country Soul. You could probably pick it up at Walmart. I don't know, not anymore. The re-release of that was 20 years ago, and then they did a video re-release back in 2021, marking the 50th anniversary of the recording of Bluegrass Country Soul. But we were the Bull Mountain Boys. I guess as far as the boys are concerned, I'm the only living Bull Mountain boy left. But Dad, this is the first one that I learned. Clipped a little bit there, but sorry about that. But as again, if you're just joining us, I am in the learning mode. We have here today a stereo camera, so if you are listening to us on headphones, earbuds, or on your TV set or your stereo sound system, I don't do surround sound, but I do stereo. But you'll be able to tell the banjo is on one side of your TV or your headphones, more predominantly so than it is the other. And I chose to set a little bit off to the side in order to give you the feedback off of both mics, and the reflective sound that's coming back from surfaces within the room would come into both microphones. It's going to come in like it normally would, but me being off center, you're going to be able to hear them more predominantly on the left than you will the right hand side. So that's what's going on. But that was John Hardy. He was a desperate little man. At least that's what they say. I heard he was about 6'6", weighed 285 pounds. Could doggone drive more steel in the ground through hard rock than most men could drive in the sand. Yeah, if you want something to do, take up about 15 minutes of your time, go listen to Johnny Cash do the Ballad of John Henry. I mean, Johnny, he gives you a full biography of John Henry. Johnny Cash does a full biography, oral biography of John Henry. I expect it is probably the longest song in country music. It's like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, Iron Butterfly and In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. It's about like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. It just takes up a whole side. But okay, let's see. I have a feeling I'm about to wear out my welcome. I'll get the words organized in my head before long. Yes. Senior moments. It's so hard to get all of this stuff into the camera frame. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I guess you'll find out when I find out, because I've got to upload this to the internet. So it's not like I'll be able to converse with you as I normally do, and I do apologize for that. As soon as enough money's come in from YouTube, I promise you the first thing I'm getting is a video, audio mixer where I can plug these cameras into. I mean, I got some jamming cameras. Zoom, Q2N 4K. I'm using the 720 on this. The 4K, I figure why. It's not going to increase the sound quality. If it's going to increase the sound quality, fine. I tried that one time. YouTube breaks it down into, I can put it at like 96 bit, you know, and YouTube, it don't care. It's going to end up as 16-bit audio. It's going to end up back 16-bit. That's just the way they do. So here we go. Come on, Looper Pedal. You hear the difference in the sound between how the banjo sounded versus the guitar. The guitar sounds is just as tinny as the banjo does. And I apologize for that. Check, 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 check. Cut the looper and give you a taste of the banjo. Okay, now those of you who weren't around for New Year's, Happy New Year, and belated Christmas wishes as well. You didn't get my card? It was probably DeJoy. He's still the head of the Postal Service. I don't know what he had on Biden. You remember DeJoy? He's the reason all the mail takes longer to get here than what it used to. Okay, G scale. That's G. Oh, where does it go after? 2 octaves of G major. And that's all the scales I learned until I got that electric guitar almost 2 years ago. Then I learned what a pentatonic was, and I learned that if I'd have just taken the time with the banjo to do the same thing, all these fiddle tunes, they're nothing more, but it's a little bit. It'd be like playing jazz guitar. Is what banjo's like, playing jazz guitar. You have to be able to move around and make the notes work, make the scales work for you. And you spend a lot of time doubling up with fingers. You know, 2 fingers working together, because you can't hit the type notes that we banjo players hit. You're not going to hit 2 in succession without it sounding like, you know. You hear that? Hear that right? What that is my middle finger's on the 3rd, and my index finger's on the 3rd, my middle finger's on the 1st, and they're going. Now, yes, and it took a long time to learn how to do that. And a 2,000-day Cripple Creek challenge, that's no place for anybody to begin. Cripple Creek is the most unusual tune. Let's see. I can take a stab at that for you. Wow. Y'all hear that? You may have heard that, an airplane flying over. I knew I had some good microphones. I had no idea they were that. And most people I see who are banjo players, wannabe banjo players. I consider myself a wannabe banjo player. So I look at other wannabe banjo players, and when they're working on Cripple Creek, and I'm thinking, wow, you're spending all that time playing Cripple Creek in G, trying to play like Earl Scruggs, when Earl Scruggs recorded it one time, and he played it in the key of A. These poor mandolin players and fiddle players who have to cope with people, with banjo players who do not understand that it is difficult for them to play out of the key of G unless it's designed for G. But anyway. abbreviated version just to give you a little taste of it. That's the timbre you're going for. When you play it right here, you've shot yourself in the foot, not only from the perspective of not looking at the other musicians who are going to be in your mix, but you're cheating yourself. You're shooting a hole in your foot, because there's a lot of difference. When you're listening to something played in A and then you're trying to play it in G, I mean, are you tone deaf? I mean, is the person tone deaf? I mean, that would be like taking a word that's Greek, or word, say, we'll just go with Hebrew. That'd be like taking a Hebrew word, translating it into Greek, and then translating it into English. Because here you are, and then you're wanting to do this, and then it ends up being this. Wrong. Because when you transliteration of words from one language to another, oh, what loss of meaning. Okay, folks, looks like we're in recording mode now. I had to stand in order to maintain. Alright. Still working on camera mode. Yes, this is going to become a webcam, but this is going to be a while. Need some of y'all, the ones that have a little disposable income. You can just pretend I'm a weekend. Look at that. Yeah, my hands used to look like that when I worked. I haven't been able to in years, decades. Well, I was able to mow my yard up until 2018, and when I say mow my yard, I have 1/2 acre, 1/2 acre, and that's with a 24 by 40 house on it, setting upon it. So I have to, and I've got, let's see, roughly, let me see, well, let's just say roughly 600 feet of fence inside and out to trim around. And I've got I've got enough trees to have my share to produce oxygen. If everybody had as many as I do in their yards, or there were as many trees per 1/2 acre of land around here as I have in my yard, well, everybody'd have small forest. Every street would be a small forest, and it'd probably be 10 degrees cooler. amazing what you can get away with playing a few chords. All of that's done with these fingers right here. And the way I went about that was finding like notes. And what I mean, it's exactly what I say. If I find a C, I look for two C's. Hear how that gives that little punch? That's the C version and the D version. Now, if you capo up here at the second fret, then you can hold that in your head. You see how I'm doing that on this? And now this thumb isn't just limited to basses. And you'll notice the best of them. We'll bring it down onto the third and lower if they need to. There's rare exceptions. Watch Chet Atkins. Watch oh my God. Watch old Smokey and the Bandit, Jerry Reed. Oh man, that man can do anything with a guitar. I love Jerry's breakdown. I would love to learn Jerry's breakdown. Say if I was 16 years old, I would look at Jerry Reed like Tony Rice looked at Jerry Reed. With amazement. Just watch him play Jerry's breakdown. You can find out here on YouTube with him and Chet Atkins. They play a couple of tunes together. But yeah, that's Memories by John Prine. And yes, that was by design. I miss him. I miss knowing he's not upon the earth to be able to tell us in song. And I'll feel the same way when Bob Dylan's gone. Anybody remember Alice's Restaurant? Let's see. Over a pole, and higher. She gets flying around the flame. Couldn't get much finer. Going in Los Angeles, bringing in a couple of keys. Take my bag if you please, it's the custom man. Standing on Mexico, he couldn't look much stranger. Walking around with a big face on, sounding like he was a Lone Ranger. Going into Los Angeles, bringing in a couple of keys. Don't check my bag if you please, Mr. Custom Man. Sorry about that. This is where I come to practice and to learn, and that's what y'all are going to start getting. If you want to know what it's like, the deep, dirty, dark secrets, yes, people screw up. Clapton screwed up. They wrote Clapton as God on the wall over in Great Britain 50 years ago. Clapton is God. Do you think God would let his child fall to his death out of an open window? That's what happened to Clapton's little boy. I love the relative minors. Oh, it's so cool. And then you got this John Mayer deal. He was showing it. You know, you've got your pentatonic, which is just goes against, say, a Lodian. You know. But he said if you just looked at that. And looked at that as the root notes, being the equator, that you could do the same thing. Now, does anything about that look familiar? Just one semitone backwards. Then you're looking at an E pentatonic. I mean, it's just mad cool, mad weird, and I'm so glad I figured it out kind of moment, you know? See what I'm saying? You can go up. And then, instead of going back down, that's a completion of that. If you look at that pentatonic shape, but you can go all the way up here. Or you can go like this. Not to just going forwards and backwards, but the beauty is that you're not only learning to use your fingers, you're learning sounds associated underneath your fingers, and you're learning the fact, just like I did here a moment ago, things about the fingerboard every single day. And I will invoke this little piece of wisdom. If you are never you'll never accomplish anything on a musical instrument unless you have that musical instrument in your hand. You can tote it around your head if you like, and you can think what you want to think. But when rubber meets the road, I hope your mind is good friends with the guitar, or whatever instrument it is that you're trying to, or wherever you're trying to apply it to. This is my favorite arpeggio. Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? I'm going to shoot my old lady, because I caught her messing around with another man. So much for Hey Joe. Bye, Joe. I'm over down Mexico, man. I'll look you up. I was born in the Southland. I ran away for the first time when I was only 4 years old. I'm a free old man. My home's on my back, and I know every inch of the highway and every foot back from the fellow track. Yeah. Me too. Oh, now the warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his den, and I stood up to bid him goodbye like all the rest. And I heard him ask the warden before he reached my cell, would you pay attention to one of my requests? Won't you sing me back home to the songs I used to hear, and make these old memories come alive? Take me back home to those hometown I used to be. Take me back home before I die. Over yonder stands little Maggie. Hey, she's got a dram glass in her hand. Saw her last week. She's down there on the beach with a portable bucket around her. That chick, she had a banjo on her knee. Oh, Lord. To catch you in my hand, I'm going far away, gonna leave you, baby. Yeah, I'm going to some far distant land. Yeah, the way those things work, when you're not sure about them, it'll either be a semitone high or a semitone lower in what you're looking for when you go to them. But like I said earlier, it is what you go through. And I'll be busting this video up, taking pieces out of it and creating short format material. not sing and B. Well, on that old rock pile, oh Lord, yes, with that ball and chain. Yeah, know me by my number name. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to do my time. Trying to do my time. Aching heart and a red mind. It won't be long. Just a few more days. Gonna sit right around. Oh, so he got the fingers open. He's gonna beat his ratty way. He's gonna settle down. Yeah, with that good mind.